We all get consumed by something. Music, film, a good book, perhaps even that new healthy lifestyle. On Consumed, we talk to people about what's consuming them. So, let's get consumed. Hello, and welcome to Consumed. This week, we'll be consuming Chris Gunther. Hello, Chris. How are you?
All right, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Would you like to tell everyone how we know each other?
Yes, we've known each other since secondary school. We probably made friends around year 8 or 9, I would say. I don't think it was straight off in year 7. Maybe it was, but close enough. I think like about 12 years old, that kind of thing. And then we've been friends in the same friend group ever since.
That is all correct. So you're now in Hong Kong?
I live in Hong Kong, yep.
Yeah. How's that going?
It's pretty mad, honestly. It's the first time I've ever lived abroad. So there's all kinds of differences and it's a big adventure, but that's why we did it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are the family enjoying it so far?
Yeah, it's good, man. Kids are at a good school. I think she's enjoying it. Doesn't tell me directly.
We'll find out after she listens to this. Yeah.
I have to kind of hear it like second or third hand. I'm like, oh, that sounds like she's enjoying it. That's good. Because when I asked her, she kind of just like, yeah, sorry. Kind of doesn't really act that keen up front. But no, I think it's fine. I think basically I would know if it was bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool.
But it's great. I had the day off today and I went on a hike and it's awesome. Like within 25 minutes I can get to work, but within 5 minutes I can get to a mountain and a forest. It's beautiful.
That does sound good. It's great. What's the weather like at the moment? What are you in the northern hemisphere? Is it summertime?
Yeah, it's pretty near the equator, so the seasons aren't as pronounced, but it's good. It's warm most of the year. In the winter, it goes down to about 10. And in the summer, you get storms. So the summer is the most brutal. And we intend to come back to the UK for a month this year.
To avoid the storms?
Yeah, to avoid the typhoons.
Would you just be working in London when you're doing that then, or are you just taking a month off?
Yeah, a couple of weeks off and a couple of weeks of work. Kind of making the most of it.
Yeah, great. Well, what did you have for dinner?
We had takeout. We had, there's a takeaway pizza place called Dobro's, and we got Dobro's tonight. The kids had a show at their school, a little concert. They practice Brazilian samba drums, and they had a little performance in the playground. So we went to watch that, and then thought we'd treat ourselves to a takeout afterwards.
Great name, Dobro's. What did you get on your Dobro? That's why they called it that.
My Dobro's, we got 2 margaritas, 1 pepperoni, and 3 boxes of chicken tenders. The chicken tenders from there are delicious.
Very tender? Very tender
indeed. Like surprisingly tender. Like considering it's a pizza and a donut shop, it's like, it's an afterthought, maybe, the chicken, but it's probably the main event.
Nice. They should call them chicken bros.
They do a sriracha and mayo chicken bros, yeah. Or, los pollos hermanos.
Oh, yeah. Very true. Very true.
Been done. Yeah. Not in that language. But, they do sriracha mayo dip, which is delicious, and barbecue sauce dip, which is delicious, and like garlic and herb dip, it's all delicious.
No, it does sound good. It's lunchtime here because of the time difference. So I just had to really quickly eat a bagel. Just red Leicester, butter and red Leicester in a bagel.
I don't remember the last time. I hate red Leicester, let alone on its own.
I know.
Got to have some pickle with that, surely. You've got to put some piccalilli or Branston or something.
Yeah, we have got stuff in the fridge. I was just being lazy. And I was trying to save time. Bonnie loves red Leicester. She just absolutely, I don't know why. She's always like, why they call it red Leicester? It's orange. And I was like, well, a lot of things are red.
That's true.
But that is her favourite cheese. So we've always got red Leicester in the house. So there you go.
It's nice.
So yeah, what you've been doing in Hong Kong then? This is called Consumed, but it doesn't have to be about what you're consuming.
Yeah, I was thinking about it today. I took that hike, and these hikes that I have on my doorstep are like, they're up there in some of the best hikes I've ever done, and they're just beautiful. I'd say if you're not consuming nature in Hong Kong, you're doing something wrong.
That's the old phrase goes.
Yeah, that's the old adage.
Has a nice rhyme to it.
What did I say again?
You said
Oh
if you're
yeah,
not
Hong Kong and
consuming,
wrong. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that's yeah. It's great, man. So I think walking through nature with your headphones on. I think the other thing that I do a lot here, because there's such like natural beauty, I also get the ferry to work. I get a 25-minute boat ride to work. So there's a lot of time to just like look out the window at like nice islands, and you go past this shipping lane, which is like massive cargo ships and stuff, which always makes any music you're listening to sound really epic. If you've got like expansive views and like massive, man-made machines going past, you could be listening to like basically anything except for like mindless pop music probably, and it just be an amazing soundtrack. So music, nature, food obviously is very different here, although it is a world city. Like whenever I come back home, I was like, oh, how's the food? Gotta love the Asian food. I'm like, yeah, but it's like saying, how's the English food in London? I mean, everybody eats like food from all over the world. So it's kind of like that here. But I have to say that Asian food is obviously of a higher standard because it's closer to all the countries. I don't just mean Chinese food. You start to realize that there's actually individual cuisines within China as well. So there's like
Mm.
Hong Kong style food, and then Sichuan style food, and then loads of others that I can't remember. It's like you kind of get into the finer detail of Asian food when you live here.
Nice. I did go to Hong Kong on our way to Thailand when we went to Thailand from
Yes.
New Zealand. I was blown away by the amount of people there were, to be honest.
Did you go to the city, or was it just a layover thing?
No, we were in the city for a night or two, I think. And so, yeah, we had a couple of days in Hong Kong. And I just spent,
Yeah.
a year in New Zealand where there's like 3 million people or something over quite a large
Yeah.
land mass, and you just don't see anyone. And then I got off the plane and I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
what's going on? This is
It's
nuts.
Hong Kong is unique because it's not actually that high a population, but there's not very much like livable space because it's basically mountains and sea. And like the most of the livable space there is in the central area is like reclaimed land. So they just keep deep, like, building into the sea. So there's not much flat land. So it makes everything feel really cramped. And that's why the buildings are so tall, because there was, it had to build up. So it is quite unique in that it feels crazy busy, but it's actually the population is not as high as like a London or something like that.
Yeah, it's just really dense, isn't it? Dense.
Density in 10 cities.
So,
Oh,
when you were hiking and you said you got your headphones on, do you ever go for a hike
yes.
without your headphones?
I don't really go anywhere without headphones.
Sometimes when I'm walking the dog, I just like, I'm going to take this one nude and have nothing in my ears. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because you kind of, I don't know, you like when you're like at one with nature, like you say, you can kind of hear the birds and stuff. But also as well, it just
Yeah.
gets my mind ticking over.
Yeah. I do have, like there's brief spells, but I mean, I'm saying like 90% with music
Mm.
or
Yeah.
podcast or something. I mean,
Yes.
there's bits in between albums where I'll take it out or I'll, kind of change the settings so that I get the outside noise.
Mm.
Yes. And I do love the kind of sounds of nature and all that stuff, but like, I think just music's pretty addictive, like I just enjoy it so much that little bits of nature's good. But, nature sounds are all pretty similar in a way. I mean, it's not like you're going to tune into an album of nature sound. I mean, maybe some people
You
do,
could.
but
Yeah, put some nature sounds on, then go walk for a walk in nature.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
might try that. Freaky.
Choose the same country's nature sounds or different countries' nature sounds.
Yeah,
Flex
maybe.
that a bit.
Just to get a sound of home. You're like, oh, I really miss the sound of a blackbird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
What music you been listening to then?
Yeah. Okay. My three main genres that I listen to are jazz music, mostly new jazz, but some old. But like newer stuff would be Mammal Hands, Go Go Penguin, Alpha Mist. Basically, like there's kind of a new British wave of jazz music that I'm into. And that started around lockdown. And then, yeah, like I said, older jazz, not so much, but like some older jazz kind of standards and stuff like that. And then very explicit in your face rap music is also, and then like unfettered brutality in metal music.
Nice.
They're the three main strands I follow.
I think there's a similarity between all three of those, though, no?
Well, they're all music.
Yeah. Well, no, they're all quite technical, though, no? Like jazz and metal are quite technical.
Yeah, maybe. I think, yeah, that's true. I think that is true. I mean, not everything I listen to is technical, although
Yeah.
that is probably true. I think it's more to do with just like the state of mind that it puts you in. You know, you get, I think that I often, I kind of feel through music, you know, like
Mm.
it triggers certain things. I think some people are much better about talking about feelings, and I normally just like listen about, you know, like music triggers emotion, and that's how I like to experience it.
That's absolutely the same way that I experience it. So it's like my relationship with Amy with music is quite funny because her dad was a music teacher. She learnt the flute when up until she was 16. She was like, I don't want to play the flute anymore. It's not cool. Whereas like, and so when she listens to music, she listens to it in a completely different way to the way that I listen to it, and the way that when she like watches me play guitar and ukulele, she just finds it interesting the way that I do it, because for me
Mm.
it's all about how it makes you feel rather than actually what is being played, if you know what I mean. And so, that's the same with any art. But there was a jazz person, artist I discovered on YouTube called, I discovered, yeah, no, but I mean, like, I found on YouTube, called Yusuf Days. Have you listened to Yusuf Days?
Not heard the name, I don't
No,
think,
he's
but I'm bad with
pretty,
names.
yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. He was from South London, but he just had these video. I just saw one, and it was just his band playing in somewhere in Hollywood, where he just got the mountains behind, and then he had this video of him
Mm.
in Japan, and they're just playing this jazz, and this dude from South London, and then it's kind of a bit more documentary style, this video, and they're
Yeah.
just playing in front of Mount Fuji. It looks really cold, but they're just, and then it's into like, just cut up with bits of him being in Japan and going to different
Yeah.
places and experiencing the culture. And it was just a really cool way to, as an
Yeah.
artist, especially in the music industry, it's tricky to make money. And so he had like over 2 million plays and subscribers or whatever on YouTube. So it was obviously making him money out of just creating in a different way. I found it quite interesting. But I started listening to it on Spotify as well, and it is really good. He's a percussionist, Yusuf Days. But yeah, check him out. It's great.
How do you spell the surname?
I think it's Dayes. Let
Okay,
me
I'll check it out.
consult my little friend in my pocket. That sounds weird. My phone.
I was gonna say, and then your phone after that.
Uh,
Piece of days.
yeah,
That whole
YU
thing
double
about having a
SEF.
what
Go on.
YUSUF. Okay.
Dayes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I kind of alluded to with the whole, like, looking out the window on the boat thing. It's
Mm.
almost like sometimes I want to share that feeling of, like, be listening to a certain thing and then seeing what I'm seeing, you know, like, but it's hard to do that. It's hard to capture both things at once. So if you're an artist, I guess it's kind of easier in a way
Mm.
because, you know, you're making a music video to the thing, so you're kind of forcing people to watch whilst you're playing it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that was
it's
it.
less
So
personal, but still good.
you should check out his YouTube videos, because they are quite interesting. Because like the music is really good, and you're essentially watching like a live show, but they're just in like really unique places, and the production quality is really high.
Mm.
His latest album that came out is called Black Classical Music, and it's
Okay.
jazz. Yeah, which is quite a good name in it. Uh, so, what podcasts do you listen to then?
Don't let me. I can't remember. I kind of. I mean, I
I thought you
listened to
said
yours,
I thought you mentioned
obviously.
podcasts when you said you had stuff in your
Yeah, I
ears.
did. Yeah, I did. I listened to a few different ones. I listened to something called Broken Record, which is Rick Rubin and a few other folks. It's about music, basically. And then I listened to this guy called Shane Smith who was in Vice News. I think Vice went under or something like that, but he has a podcast called Shane Smith Has Questions. That's pretty good. And then a few others, but there's one that I listen to when I'm trying to go to sleep. And it's because this dude has got a really soothing voice. And he's called Lex Friedman. I think he's like a born Russian, but he's actually like American raised. And he's a super clever guy. I don't know what his like credentials are, but seems to know a lot about everything on a very, very technical level, like maths and physics. But he also, you know, loves music. Yeah, mainly I put that on when I'm trying to sleep at a weird time, like if I'm traveling for work or whatever, and I'm on a plane and I can't relax. I put that in, and then it takes 10 minutes, and I'm asleep, man. It's great.
Nice.
And they're really long as well. So you kind of like wake up a little bit and you kind of like turn your head and you know, catch another little segment of it and then fall back asleep. It's great.
I'd like it if they could. They probably do this in the future. They know when you've fallen asleep and they just automatically pause, and then when you stir, they just turn it on again.
I just got these headphones, the Apple ones, and there is a setting in there that says pause when fall asleep.
Wow! Wow!
Yeah, it's
There you go.
crazy. I haven't tried it yet.
The future
But
is
I
now.
guess but they actually have a little pulse. They can detect your pulse from your ear.
Hmm.
So I guess if your pulse slows down, that's when they know you're falling asleep or you're dying, I guess.
Does it automatically, call for
Yeah.
help?
You
Yeah.
better turn this off. That'd be so annoying if you were dying and the music turned off. You're like, no, I want this song to be the soundtrack of my death. And it turns off because your pulse slows
Yeah.
down.
That would be annoying. So, what rap artists do you listen to?
I listen to new stuff, usually like New York area artists, but not always. There's a few folks that are in a kind of collective called Griselda, and they are. It's kind of like I think the way that they would describe it is like underground rap, which is kind of pretty like heavy, dirty, grimy. They rap about like selling drugs and being rich and like the kind of classic tones of rap, but it's new and they've got new because it's a kind of a collective. They've got new guys that they're bringing through all the time. And there's this guy called Rome Streets who brought out a couple of great albums recently, and all the production is great. Like the beats are so nice. So it's also the lyrical content is interesting to me, but also the beats are great. And then I don't really listen to old rap that much. There's I still sometimes when I put my phone on shuffle, it will be like kind of like 90s golden era hip hop, like Tribe Called Quest and Big L and stuff like that.
Yeah, nice. And what about metal? What did you describe it as? Absolute brutality.
Unfettered brutality. Yeah, it's actually
That is better.
I wanted to, when me and John, our mutual friend John, wanted to make an album, that's what I wanted to call it, Unfettered, or Unbridled Brutality is the other one I wanted to call it, which we still might, so I hope no one takes that. The stuff that I've been listening to recently, there's a band called Varials. There's an album came out last week, which is insanely heavy. It's horribly heavy. And then Converge, who are like, I don't know if you've heard the name Converge, but they're kind of like veterans of metal now, but they released a new album recently and that's really good. Knocked Loose as well, another new band I listen to. They're not that new anymore, but getting very big. Counterparts. Yeah, just to name a few.
Nice. I've got a question for you.
Go on.
If you had a time machine, when and where would you go?
I think I would have to go into the future, which is hard to give you any specific. I'd have to just like take a guess. But I think the sweet spot would be somewhere where we're still alive as humans and we haven't quite, destroyed everything yet. But like right at the end of that period.
Uh-huh.
Because I think it's obvious to say like it would be cool to walk around in like ancient Egypt or like, when the Mayans were building those crazy things in Central America or what. I mean, those things are obviously interesting, but we kind of see what the kind of like results of that period are in our architecture. Whereas in the future, you've just got no idea. Like it would just be mental. So I guess you could say 100 years ahead, 200 years ahead. I mean, I guess we could end it at any moment. So it's hard to say, but probably wouldn't go as far as 1,000 years ahead. Yeah, like what have we achieved before we fuck it all up? Am I allowed to swear? What have we
Yeah, you can
achieved
swear.
before it all goes south? So it'd be great if we mastered interstellar travel, like to be around that and just be able to like buy a ticket to Alpha Centauri or whatever. That would be pretty cool. But obviously, there's not that I love dystopian movies, but I wouldn't want to be around for that.
No. That's when the shit has fallen off the fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The shit's on the floor.
flung off the fan onto the walls and it's dripping down. Don't
Yeah.
want to see that.
If you were on a desert island, which dessert would you eat first?
Carrot cake.
Please explain.
I love the flavor of carrot cake, and it has to be a pretty good one. And I say good in a, it's subjective, but in a kind of snooty way, cheap carrot cake that's just almost like a brown sponge with little bits of carrot in it. That's not going to cut it. I like a really kind of crumbly. I like the dried fruit. I like the chunks of walnut. I like the big kind of like thick strands of carrot, like the kind of hand peaked buttercream. I just think I love the flavor. It's not too sweet. It's also got some, it's not overwhelming like a creme brulee or like a chocolate mousse, where it's like one flavor. Every spoon is almost the
Mm.
same, like with a carrot cake, I think you can kind of eat into the texture of it a bit more. Not every bite is the same. And yeah, you can eat a lot of it because it's like not too rich. So if you were on a desert island, and also if you were on a desert island without anything else, you would need some nutritional content. And, carrot cakes on the scale of desserts, like that's pretty nutritious.
Yeah, I mean, I said desert island, so the island could.
I know, but that's what I pictured in my head. Like,
Yeah, it is what
I
I
mean,
picture in
Desert
my head as
Island
well.
Disc is obviously it's a take on Desert Island Disc. Like, which album would you take with
Mhm.
you? So I would take carrot cake, or I would eat that first.
Do you like the ones that are like being made with oil and they're just like almost kind of like really stodgy, or do you prefer like a nice light one?
No, I like them crumbly.
Mm.
Almost. I even flirted with the idea of saying Christmas cake for this
Oh,
because although that is very rich, it's just such a mouthful, isn't it? It's like
it is.
it's the crumbly ones. I just love them. Like you almost can't get it in your mouth without it falling apart. The kind of the texture of it and the kind of like the density, but yet um the kind of just the you know I can't even think of the word, but the fact
Well,
that it's just different in most bites. That's what I like about it.
yeah, I made one. Oh, I haven't made one for a couple of years, but I did make them for a few Christmases in a row. And the amount of like the fruit to the cake batter ratio is
Mm,
insane because it's just like
mm,
90% fruit that has been soaked
yeah,
in brandy for like 2 weeks or something like that at least.
it's
So that
great.
when you mix it in there, it's just like it is basically just fruit. But yeah, they are delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, rich though.
Nothing
But yeah,
worse than for the old windy pops though than a Christmas cake. I find
really.
that and mince pie, dried fruit really does it for me. Yeah,
Oh, I'll write that down. And I'll return your
don't
birthday present.
give Chris dried fruit.
Excellent. Um, any other business? What else you been consuming?
Music, nature, bit of podcasts. TV wise, don't have a lot of time for it, but I really want to watch one battle after another. I really want to watch Sinners. I haven't seen either of those, so that's not a good answer. But we watch in the Nizza and the kids with our Venn diagrams of our like watching, what we like to watch does not overlap very much. But where it does overlap at the moment is It Cake, Queer Eye, and we're now on season 3 of like Secrets of Ancient Egypt.
Oh, what's that on?
So it's on Disney. It's actually a Discovery thing, but over here it's Disney. And it's great. It's like people digging up tombs and finding mummies and stuff like that. It's 45 minutes of everyone glued to the TV before bed and then off to brush your teeth type thing.
Is it accessible for the kids to enjoy, or is it too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they love it. It's
Oh.
great. I mean, it's like they might not understand truly what's going on with the history of what's being narrated, but every single shot is like either a massive sphinx or a pyramid or a tomb or someone digging in the sand and getting excited and digging up like a bit of pottery or whatever. So it's quite easy to understand it, even if you don't understand what's being said. So I'd recommend that if you've got mine are 7 and 9, so kind of young kids. It's educational, so you don't feel bad for putting it on. And it's like I said, the Venn diagram of our taste does not overlap very deeply, but it overlaps there, which I'm happy with.
7 and 9, man, that's crazy.
I know Zeke's 10 in July. It's mad.
Yeah. 10 years. Well, that's true. I mean, he was born literally like the week before I moved out of London and up north. So
Yeah.
that'd be 10 years, yeah, since John and Nikki's
Yeah.
wedding.
Yeah, I had my 10-year wedding anniversary last year. That is kind of
Hmm.
mad.
Yeah, congratulations.
Shout out Izza.
Is she standing out of shot?
Is standing just behind the TV, the monitor. Imagine.
All right, say
She's
hi
my
from me.
cameraman. She's got a very steady hand.
Great. Well, I've got to go back to work because this is lunchtime for me. So
All right.
thanks for coming on, Chris.
All right, mate. Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.